Top 26 SQL interview question and answer. Q1. What are the different subsets of SQL? Data Definition Language, DDL. It allows you to perform various operations on the database such as create, alter, and delete objects. Data Manipulation Language, DML. It allows you to access and manipulate data. It helps you to insert, update, delete, and retrieve data from the database. Data Control Language, DCL. It allows you to control access to the database. Example: grant, revoke access permissions. Q2. What do you mean by DBMS? What are its different types? A database management system, DBMS, is a software application that interacts with the user, applications, and the database itself to capture and analyze data. A database is a structured collection of data. A DBMS allows a user to interact with the database. The data stored in the database can be modified, retrieved, and deleted and can be of any type like strings, numbers, images, etc. There are two types of DBMS. Relational Database Management System. The data is stored in relations, tables. Example: MySQL. Non-relational Database Management System. There is no concept of relations, tuples, and attributes. Example: MongoDB. Q3. What is the select statement? A select command gets 0 or more rows from one or more database tables or views. The most frequent data manipulation language, DML, command is select in most applications. Select queries define a result set, but not how to calculate it, because SQL is a declarative programming language. Q4. What are some common clauses used with select query in SQL? The following are some frequent SQL clauses used in conjunction with a select query. Where clause. In SQL, the where clause is used to filter records that are required depending on certain criteria. Order by clause. The order by clause in SQL is used to sort data in ascending, ASC, or descending, DESC, order depending on specified fields, DESC. Group by clause. Group by clause in SQL is used to group entries with identical data and may be used with aggregation methods to obtain summarized database results. Having clause. In SQL, it is used to filter records in combination with the group by clause. It is different from where, since the where clause cannot filter aggregated records. Q5. What are union, minus, and intersect commands? The union operator is used to combine the results of two tables while also removing duplicate entries. The minus operator is used to return rows from the first query but not from the second query. The intersect operator is used to combine the results of both queries into a single row. Before running either of the above SQL statements, certain requirements must be satisfied. Within the clause, each select query must have the same amount of columns. The data types in the columns must also be comparable. In each select statement, the columns must be in the same order. Q6. What is cursor? How to use a cursor? After any variable declaration, declare a cursor. A select statement must always be coupled with the cursor definition. To start the result set, move the cursor over it. Before obtaining rows from the result set, the open statement must be executed. To retrieve and go to the next row in the result set, use the fetch command. To disable the cursor, use the close command. Finally, use the deallocate command to remove the cursor definition and free up the resources connected with it. Q7. List the different types of relationships in SQL. There are different types of relations in the database. One-to-one. This is a connection between two tables in which each record in one table corresponds to the maximum of one record in the other. One-to-many and many-to-one. This is the most frequent connection, in which a record in one table is linked to several records in another. Many-to-many, this is used when defining a relationship that requires several instances on each sides. Self-referencing relationships. When a table has to declare a connection with itself, this is the method to employ. Q8. What is OLTP? OLTP, or Online Transactional Processing, allows huge groups of people to execute massive amounts of database transactions in real time, usually via the internet. A database transaction occurs when data in a database is changed, inserted, deleted, or queried. Q9. What are the differences between OLTP and OLAP? OLTP stands for Online Transaction Processing, whereas OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing. OLTP is an online database modification system, whereas OLAP is an online database query response system. Q10. How to create empty tables with the same structure as another table? To create empty tables, using the into operator to fetch the records of one table into a new table while setting a where clause to false for all entries, it is possible to create empty tables with the same structure. As a result, SQL creates a new table with a duplicate structure to accept the fetched entries, but nothing is stored into the new table since the where clause is active. Q11. What are SQL comments? SQL comments are used to clarify portions of SQL statements and to prevent SQL statements from being executed. Comments are quite important in many programming languages. The comments are not supported by a Microsoft Access database. As a result, the Microsoft Access database is used in the examples in Mozilla Firefox and Microsoft Edge. Single-line comments, it starts with two consecutive hyphens. Multi-line comments, it starts with asterisk and ends with asterisk. Q12. What is the usage of the NVL function? You may use the NVL function to replace null values with a default value. The function returns the value of the second parameter if the first parameter is null. If the first parameter is anything other than null, it is left alone. This function is used in Oracle, not in SQL and MySQL. Instead of NVL function, MySQL have ifNull, and SQL Server have isNull function. Q13. What is the difference between the rank and dense_rank functions? The rank function in the results set defines the rank of each row within your ordered partition. If both rows have the same rank, the next number in the ranking will be the previous rank plus a number of duplicates. If we have 3 records at rank 4, for example, the next level indicated is 7. The dense_rank function assigns a distinct rank to each row within a partition based on the provided column value, with no gaps. It always indicates a ranking in order of precedence. This function will assign the same rank to the 2 rows if they have the same rank, with the next rank being the next consecutive number. If we have 3 records at rank 4, for example, the next level indicated is 5. Q14. What is a unique constraint? The unique constraint prevents identical values in a column from appearing into records. The unique constraint guarantees that every value in a column is unique. Q15. What is a self-join? A self-join is a type of join that can be used to connect to tables. As a result, it is an unary relationship. Each row of the table is attached to itself and all other rows of the same table in a self-join. As a result, a self-join is mostly used to combine and compare rows from the same database table. Q16. What is schema in SQL Server? A schema is a visual representation of the database that is logical. It builds and specifies the relationships among the database's numerous entities. It refers to the several kinds of constraints that may be applied to a database. It also describes the various data kinds. It may also be used on tables and views. Schemas come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Star schema and snowflake schema are 2 of the most popular. The entities in a star schema are represented in a star form, whereas those in a snowflake schema are shown in a snowflake shape. Any database architecture is built on the foundation of schemas. Q17. NoSQL versus SQL. In summary, the following are the 5 major distinctions between SQL and NoSQL. Relational databases are SQL, while non-relational databases are NoSQL. SQL databases have a specified schema and employ structured query language. For unstructured data, NoSQL databases use dynamic schemas. SQL databases scale vertically, but NoSQL databases scale horizontally. NoSQL databases are document, key value, graph, or wide column stores, whereas SQL databases are table-based. SQL databases excel in multi-row transactions, while NoSQL excels at unstructured data such as documents and JSON. Q18. What is the difference between now and current_date? Now returns a constant time that indicates the time at which the statement began to execute. The simple difference between now and current_date is that now will fetch the current date and time both in format YYYYMEM_DDHH, SS, while current_date will fetch the date of the current day YYYYMEM_DD. Q19. What is database black box testing? Black box testing is a software testing approach that involves testing the functions of software applications without knowing the internal code structure, implementation details, or internal routes. Black box testing is a type of software testing that focuses on the input and output of software applications and is totally driven by software requirements and specifications. Behavioral testing is another name for it. Q20. Where MyISAM table is stored. Prior to the introduction of MySQL 5.5 in December 2009, MyISAM was the default storage engine for MySQL relational database management system versions. It's based on the older ISAM code, but it comes with a lot of extra features. Each MyISAM table is split into 3 files on disk if it is not partitioned. The file names start with the table name and end with an extension that indicates the file type. The table definition is stored in a FRM file. However, this file is not part of the MyISAM engine. Instead, it is part of the server. The data file suffix is MYD, MYData. The index file's extension is MYI, MYIndex. If you lose your index file, you may always restore it by recreating indexes. Q21. What is the difference between CHAR and VARCHAR2 data type in SQL? Both CHAR and VARCHAR2 are used for characters data type, but VARCHAR2 is used for character strings of variable length, whereas CHAR is used for strings of fixed length. For example, CHAR 10 can only store 10 characters and will not be able to store a string of any other length, whereas VARCHAR2 10 can store any length, i.e. 6, 8, 2 in this variable. Q22. What are constraints? Constraints in SQL are used to specify the limit on the data type of the table. It can be specified while creating or altering the table statement. The sample of constraints are not null, check, default, unique, primary key, foreign key. Q23. What is the difference between delete and truncate statements? Delete command is used to delete a row in a table. You can roll back data after using delete statement. It is a DML command. It is slower than truncate statement. Truncate is used to delete all the rows from a table. You cannot roll back data. It is a DDL command. It is faster. Q24. What is a unique key? Uniquely identifies a single row in the table. Multiple values allowed per table. Null values allowed. Q25. What is a foreign key in SQL? Foreign key maintains referential integrity by enforcing a link between the data into tables. The foreign key in the child table references the primary key in the parent table. The foreign key constraint prevents actions that would destroy links between the child and parent tables. Q26. What do you mean by data integrity? A data integrity defines the accuracy as well as the consistency of the data stored in a database. It also defines integrity constraints to enforce business rules on the data when it is entered into an application or a database. Thank you for watching.